Hi everyone, it is me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to this tutorial. It is a crochet tutorial. We are going to be working with two colors. We are going to do the Harlequin stitch, and we will do it by color. So that way you can see the actual diamonds within the pattern. So grab yourself a couple different colors, contrasting colors. For today's tutorial, I will be using a green and a sparkly white. Today I'm going to start with my color green. We're going to start with a chain of 41. To work the Harlequin, it is in multiples of 8 plus 1. So we are going to chain 41 stitches, and after I have chained my 41, I will come back and we will begin row 1. Okay, so I have my 41 chains started, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see where I'm working and what I'm up to. All right, so we're going to be working in the 5th chain from the hook. That loop does not count as anything. So we're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that 5th one. I will be working in the bumps on the back, not into the front side of the chain, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 where my thumb is. So you just turn your work over, and we're going to begin by placing 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets all into that same chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and 1, 2, and 3. Now this is going to work up exactly the same as your single color Harlequin. The only difference is where and when to change your color to have it come out like diamonds in separate colors and not wonky. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. When we work all them stitches in that chain, it kind of messes your chain up a little bit, so make sure when you start counting you don't skip over your very next chain. We're going to skip 3 chains and single crochet into the 4th. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to work that all the way to the end of your chain. You're going to skip the next 3 chains and place 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain. So there's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and 3 more. Then you're going to skip the next 3 chains and single crochet into the next. Go ahead and continue working down the side of your chain, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the 4th. Go ahead and continue working this same repeat down your chain. Your very last chain will be a single crochet into that chain stitch. I will meet up with you at that point. Okay, so I've come down here to the end, and I've got 4 stitches to the end, 4 chains to the end of my row here. I'm going to go in as if to a single crochet into this last stitch. I'm going to yarn over and pull a loop through. but I'm not going to complete that stitch. I want to bring in and introduce my second color. The reason I introduce my second color at this point is because it now will start the next row with the right color beginning. Now, if you so choose, you can cut your yarn, tie off, and go to the next color. That's completely up to you. I'm going to show you how I carry up the side of the project my yarn and work each of the colors. So this first row here is only half of a diamond. So we need to go ahead and change our colors. So I'm going to bring in my secondary color here. And now I just fold it in half over my hand and place a loop on my hook. Hold it good and tight and pull that loop through. That's all I do when I change colors, because eventually I weave in my end. And now to continue, I will hold all of this together. This tail I just pulled through, I'll hold it all together just so that way it's stable for me to continue working the next row, the very beginning of the next row. So row 2 begins with a chain 3 and turn your work. 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, that now is 100% all on the next row. Okay, so turn your work over. We're now pretty stable here. I can let go of this tail and move on to the next part. The next part is we are going to work a 3 together double crochet cluster. And let me zoom in a little bit so you can watch this being done in case you haven't done this before. It will be seen as DC 3 TOG on a pattern. So that is double crochet 3 together. Let's go ahead and work through that. Yarn over, insert your hook into that first double crochet stitch. You're skipping that end single crochet. We're going to go right into that double crochet stitch, yarn over and pull a loop up, yarn over and only go through 2. So we're creating half of our double crochet. We're going to work that 2 more times. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and go through 2 loops only. 1 more time. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and go through 2 loops only. We now have 4 loops on our hook, the 3 stitches that we just worked and the loop from our chain. So now we're going to yarn over and go through all 4 loops. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're now going to do the same thing, only using 6 stitches instead of 3. So it will be seen in a pattern as DC 6 TOG, double crochet 6 together. We're going to skip this chain 1 space, yarn over and go into our next double crochet, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go into our next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 2 only, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 2 only. We're going to skip our single crochet here in the center and work over the next 3 double crochet stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, following your single crochet, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 2. One more time, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 2 loops only. Yarn over and you will pull through 7 loops now. Just like that, and you just pulled them all together into 1 stitch. Chain 7 and repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to jump over to our next little valley here and do the same thing. Double crochet 6 together. Then you're going to do it again and one more time, and at that point I will meet you to finish this last part of this row, which is row 2. So go ahead and work the next 3 double crochet 6 together, and I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. All right, so I've made it down to the end of the row here. I have my last chain 7 to do, and then we will work the last few stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The last, we're going to finish up similar to the way we started the row. Yarn over, and we're going to work these last 3 double crochets together. So skip your chain 1 space and work a double crochet 3 together. And now we're going to place a double crochet into the top of that turning chain at the end. Just like that. And this is what you have at the end of row 2. Let's begin row 3 with a chain 3 and turn your work. Once you have your chain 3 and have turned your work, we're going to be working into this little eye here where your chain is coming from, your very first stitch. So it's the grouping of all of those stitches together. You're going to place 3 double crochets into that little eyelet there. So there's 1, 2, and 3. See how they're all in that little eyelet directly across from the 3 that you work together. Okay, now we're going to jump over here to our chain 1 and our chain 7. We're actually going to single crochet over the top of both of them together. So insert your hook into that chain 1 space, going under the chain 1 and the chain 7, yarning over and pulling a loop through. So you see how it's captured both, and single crochet those together. Now we're going to work into our next eyelet, and we're going to work the series of 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 3 double crochet. So yarn over, go into the eye, which is where all of those are grouped together, yarn over and double crochet 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets all in that same little eyelet there. And now we're going to repeat. Go over here to your next chain 1 and chain 7 and single crochet around both of those chains. And you might have to adjust your tension a little bit and work it together. And now we'll work into this next little eyelet, placing 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. This is your repeat, and I will meet up with you once I get close to the end to finish off this row. We're going to be changing colors again, and I will show you how to do that and finish up this row all in one. So there we have it. Okay, I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. All right, so we are coming to the end of row 3, where we're going to end up changing our yarn at the yarn color at the very end here. But before we do so, we need to finish this last little section up here by placing 3 double crochets into that little eyelet of the double crochet 3 together. Yeah, get your 3 double crochets in there. Now we're going to work a double crochet into the top of this turning chain down here, but do not complete it. We're only going to go halfway through completion of that double crochet. So just that bottom half, and there will be 2 loops left on your hook. Now we're going to switch colors back to our green. And in doing so, you want to make sure that you have plenty of give. So we're bringing it from this very beginning row all the way up to where we're at now, and yarning over and pulling through. But you want to make sure that you have plenty of stretch and it's not too tight, or one side of your project is going to be a lot smaller than the other side, because the other side has more give in it than if you were to cinch that down real tight. So just be cautious that you're giving yourself plenty of room. You don't want it too loose. And don't worry about the yarn going up the side, because we're just going to crochet over it when we do a border. If you don't want to do a border, I would suggest cutting and changing colors every single time. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with row 4, which is a chain 4 in our next color. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then turn your work, and we're going to skip this chain, this double crochet at the end that we made, this little stitch here that we've chained off of, and we're going to start working our double crochet 6 together right off the bat. We're going to go into the very next stitch by yarning over and inserting our hook, yarning over and pulling up a loop, yarn over and go through 2. We're going to work that across the next 5 double crochets, skipping that single crochet in the center. This is our repeat. So double crochet 6 together, skipping your single. And you will end up at your chain 1 space on your next little diamond here. You will have 7 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 7, chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we're going to skip over to our next little valley and do the same thing. Continue working all the way to the end here, And I'm going to meet up with you at our last double crochet 6 together. Okay, so we've come to the end of the row. We have done our last and final little cluster of double crochet 6 together. We're now going to chain 1, 2, and 3 and single crochet to the top of that turning chain. All right, this is how we should be looking at this point. You can start seeing the diamonds forming at that point. Now we're going to go ahead and start row 5. Row 5 is the last row of row repeats. So go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work over. Again, we're going to be working into the eyes of these groups here. And we're going to skip this single crochet. We're going to skip this chain 3 here. And we're going to work into that eye and work the second half of the diamond, if you will. So the bottom half is 1 row and the top half is a second row. So go ahead and yarn over, and let's get those 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets into that eye. This will be your repeat across. Now we're back to our chain 1 and chain 7 where we single crochet them together. So in through the chain 1 space, under both the chain 1 and the chain 7, yarn over and pull up a loop, single crochet. And now you're going to go to your next eye and do 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. You're going to continue working that all the way down here towards the end, where I will meet back up with you and we will finish this row 5 together. Okay, so I have made the last of the diamond here on row 5, and I need to finish up this row by placing a single crochet into the very first chain of our turning chain. So not up here at the top of it, but at the bottom of it where it starts. So I'm going to reach down there and insert my hook and yarn over and pull up a loop. At this point, we would change colors again because now we have 2 rows which complete the next diamond. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that color from behind, stretch things out, make sure there's plenty of room and give and take, and pull up the secondary color. Like that, completing that single crochet. Now I am completely ready to begin my repeats 2 through 5. Those are your repeat rows. So here you can see a little bit better the diamond shape within the Harlequin stitch pattern. So I will be continuing on with this particular swatch on making a pattern. What will the pattern be? I guess you'll have to wait and find out what I'm doing with this swatch here and these colors. So I will see you in that video or my next video. All right, everybody, I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.